Yo, yo, yo. Oh, my troll. What's up, dude? What's up, everybody? My dudes and dudesettes. It's hump day, baby. It's Wednesday. You made it. Congratulations. Halfway there. Halfway to the weekend. What's up, guys? Good morning, good day, good evening. I don't know, whatever time it is for you. It's morning for me, so I'll say good morning. Yeah, man. What's up? What's up? What is going down? We got day 31. Day 31, it's random mode time, by the way. Get them in there. Rando mode, try to get a free sub. Let's go. Glitch lit's what you're looking for. Day 31 of our Breath of the Wild playthrough, yeah. So we'll get into that today. Here for the news, only the news, dude. So you're saying let's do what we do? Is that what you're getting at, dude? So we got day 31 of Breath of the Wild. We got a lot done yesterday. We got all the shrine quests completed. We've got roughly like 13 more side quests to do, but a number of them are, one is the Master Sword Trial. About 3 more are quests that are actually taken care of in Hyrule Castle. Outside of that, we'll be trying to take care of the majority of the rest of them today. That way, basically the next few days can just be focused on trials and ending. So that'll be the play. That will be our play. Cool. And then working our way into the forest, baby. Working our way into the forest. So that's the jam-a-lam for us moving forward. And for today, after we get finished with video gaming news for January 11th. So on that note, Wick, let's do what we do, man. And let's get over there and get into our video gaming news segment. Cool. Check it out. This is what we're listening to this morning. That's wrong. That's right. There you go. You got that one yesterday? You did, didn't you? I recall that, man. Yeah. Well, you know. Maybe you'll win on it soon, man. Maybe that's the play, you know. So we're listening to Crypto the Necro Dancer this morning. It's a rhythm-based adventure RPG game. And it's got a sick, very, very extensive soundtrack. So, Rick, go check it out. Cool. We will go ahead and cut the music. Thank you, Maestro. Let's go ahead and get into the news. That is not the news. I'm slipping this morning, man. There we go. By the way, for anybody that did not see, the schedule that we did together is completed enough, anyways, for my standards, and has been. Dude, what is happening? There we go. And has been linked into the channel with the schedule command and into our Discord, okay? So, you can access that now across our channel. It is a Google Doc. It shows a tentative schedule. I will adjust it as we move forward, as things change, but we do have our tentative schedule up and linked in for everybody to access and view as they would like. Okay? Cool. Let's do this. Let's do this, man. See what we got in the news. Let's go. Perfect. Oh, hey, Wick. You listening, dude? You listening? I got something for you, man. I got something for you. If you didn't know. Stars took down the Islanders last night in overtime, man. So if you need something to kind of razz cash about today, man, there you go. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy is already topping Steam's charts, at least with pre-orders and stuff. We were kind of read about that yesterday. It's being pre-ordered a lot across many different platforms. PlayStation as well. There are a lot of pre-order specials specific for PlayStation, but it is being pre-ordered heavily right now. So we kind of hit on that yesterday. Yes, Wick. Yes. Yo, you're good, dude. Um, just for you, buddy. Just for you. 2023's video game release calendar is packed. Potentially, it is potentially packed. Okay. An abundance of major game delays in the past 12 months has set up a lot of games to release this year. But here's the deal. As we noted, whenever we made our schedule, I mean, I can like give you a quick glance, if you will, at some of the like games that we just picked out from for our schedule. We're talking about this entire like column right here, right? This entire column is just, let me zoom us in there a little bit. These are just games for 2023 that we picked out that we are interested in playing here in this channel. You know what I mean? And these are games that have a TBA date. These are not even games that have a TBA date for 2023. Not games that have a dedicated release date, because we have a lot of the games that we want to play that have a dedicated release date already in our schedule. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, while there were some games that slipped last year that are going to hit in the schedule this year, there are a lot of games that are slated to release this year in 2023. They're going to slip to next year. That is just the nature of the gaming beast. That is what happens, right? So there are a notable amount of these games, as much as we would like for all of them to hit. It's just not realistic, right? It's what's going to happen. A lot of these games are going to fall into next year. It's just the way things work. And again, we would much rather see games fall, slip a little bit, and come out in a really nice, polished state, rather than be kind of gross and make us feel duped for spending our money on them. Release in a very unpolished state, and be very buggy and glitchy and have bad frame rates and stutter and crashes and things like that. So, I mean, we'll take that, but the calendar is potentially packed. Is kind of what I would say people should, go along the pretense of there. Are there some notable games that are going to release this year? Yes. Are there some notable games that are supposed to release this year? Yes. Are there also a good amount of games that were supposed to release this year that are going to slip till next year, just like what happened last year, and just like what happened the year before, and just like what happens every other year? Absolutely. So we'll just have to wait and see how many of these notable games actually do release this year and how many end up slipping. Switch games with the best graphics. Is that really saying anything? Look, dude, the Switch hardware is over 7 years old at this point. So it's really any kind of article going, the Switch games with the best graphics. Really, anything to note? The Switch needs Nintendo needs a new console. They need an upgrade, dude. So yeah, are there some games that look prettier than others? Absolutely. But quite often, the games that look better also have a little bit of some issues in certain areas with things like frame rate drop. You know, so there's a bit of a trade off there on the Switch specifically because of uh, how old that hardware is. You want a game to look good, usually you're going to end up with a little bit of a trade off in performance in some areas. Gamers confused about Dead Space pre-orders. Interesting. Let's see what's going on there. Netflix just added one of its best games yet. Let's see what they've got. Did they hit that 50 game benchmark that they were touting uh, last year? I don't know. Let's see. RE4 fans get good news about the game's release. Let's see what's going on there. Controversial League of Legends cinematic. Uh, see what that's talking about. Duelist source code is now free for everyone. Interesting. Oh, dude. Final Fantasy 16 producers suggest PC players should just buy a PS5. I love it, dude. All right, here, we'll read into that. We'll read into that. Maybe Sony should just get their heads out of their butts and get with the ball game and start releasing their games on PC. You know what I mean? How about that? How's that grab you? Sony? Oh, it's easy. If you're a PC gamer, just go spend another 600 bucks on a PS5. It's easy, guys. Just do it. All right, buddy. Cool. Using its own what? Okay. So, looks like MSI is going to be debuting their Radeon 7900 XTX and XT GPUs this month, skipping the AMD reference model and instead using their own gaming trio design. There are overheat issues on the reference model. So we'll see if we'll talk about this, but we'll see if that ends up helping negate the overheat issues that AMD is saying is part of their reference design. We'll see though. Getting our other search here. 4 days until The Last of Us hits The streaming service of HBO. New Xbox Game Pass titles for console, PC, and cloud. Take a look. Shredder's Revenge is now on mobile. Okay. D&D TV series is coming to Paramount. Interesting. It's not necessarily gaming news, video gaming news, but that's interesting. Yeah, especially this is a strange time for that to happen with the OGL that just came out, the new OGL. So we'll see if that has anything to do with how this moves forward. Wonder Woman game adds God of War Ragnarok veteran. Okay. What's this? Yeah, look, we talked about this. Callisto Protocol Striking Distance Studios reportedly left several developers off the credits. Uh, this has been an issue for a long time. We've talked about it. It's like there are no really rules or regulations about who has to be included on credits for video games. There really needs to be some kind of governing body set up for the video gaming industry of unbiased individuals that can help regulate or get regulations rolling out for certain kinds of things to help better set standards for the industry moving forward. Things like this have been a big topic. Who should, at the very least, or who must at the very least be included on credits at the end of games? What is the least amount of money anybody should have to be paid for doing any kind of voice acting or acting work for a video game? There have been a lot of issues that have come up lately that are kind of just really, there's a lot of unwritten, there's no kinds of rules or regulations in regards to a lot of this stuff in this industry because there's no governing body for it. And it's, I think, bringing to light a very good, or it's bringing to light an issue that needs to be addressed, if you will. Where now the fact of the matter is, it needs to be unbiased individuals that make up this governing body. I don't know how you would go about doing that. So, obviously, you don't end up putting Bobby Kotick at the head of this. That's not the kind of individual you want in this governing body. But I don't know. I don't know what you do necessarily. You need to have different types of individuals that have extensive knowledge about different areas of the gaming industry, from development to the the acting side of it, all kinds of things in there. The intricacies of the actual laws and things like that are already in place. So probably some people with some law credentials in there as well. I don't know how you go about setting that up, but it needs to be done so we can get some real nice guidelines and rules and regulations moving forward to how to better address the industry and its standards moving forward. In my opinion, this is not, unfortunately, a rarity. We've seen a lot of reports of games over the years that have just left out numerous individuals that had potentially contributed substantial work to games and were just left off the credits. for some reason, I don't know, but the only way we really get around this issue is having some kinds of actual rules about who must be included, and ultimately then it's on the developer to decide who additionally should be included after that fact. Oh no, dude. Yo, if anybody is looking forward to Forspoken, put your big boy pants on because it's probably going to be a rough release. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Square adds de nouveau DRM to Forspoken. Cheers. Is your PS5 melting? Shut your mouth. We talked about this the other day. Yeah. So, uh, I'll leave this up and I'll give you the TLDR whenever I come across that article when we start reading through our articles about what the deal is with your best interests at heart in what orientation you should probably be keeping your PS5 in just to be very safe. Okay. Masahiro Sakurai reveals the details on classic Nintendo GameCube game. We'll look at that. Talked about that yesterday. Fortnite content update version 23.10 notes. We'll peek at that and list those out for everybody. The Fortnite fans in the community, yeah. Last page here. We've got a number of articles today. Gears of War is finally getting a new game, people. Let's take a look. We already have another article up about this. Is it this one? Yeah. League of Legends Season 2023 trailer underwhelms. So let's put this down here and see if it's worth diving into both of these. Okay. We might not need to look at both of those articles, but we'll see. We'll see. New MechWarrior single player game for PC and consoles. What? Okay, we gotta look at that. I just turned into a even more of a child than I already am. We talked about this yesterday. A lot of the devs from Playground Games, which are the Forza devs, right, have left from that studio which is an Xbox studio, and have now gone and created their own studio called Maverick Games. We hit on this yesterday. If you're interested, we deep dive into it in yesterday's news segment, which would be January 10th. So go take a look at that news segment either on our Twitch page or our YouTube channel if you want more information on that, okay? But that's the gist of it right there. A lot of notable individuals from Playground Games left to go form this new studio. And they have already been publicly transparent about the fact that they are in the works of developing a large-scale open-world game. Other than that, we don't know many details, but that's what they're working on. Talked about that. Bro, Dave Bautista needs to play Kratos in Amazon's God of War. I would buy into that. Get a big, nice, full beard, with just a little bit of length on it. You know what I'm saying? Down here to the like a little bit past the Adam's apple. You know, on Dave Bautista, dude, he would look like a great Kratos. Let's go. I love Dave Bautista, man. I think he would do a good Kratos, man. He's got that deep, gruff voice already and everything too. Yeah, I think that would work, man. All right, let's dive into these articles. Let's start it off with some mech news, baby. New MechWarrior single-player game for PC consoles in development. Fans of the MechWarrior and BattleTech universe have a new treat incoming, as mentioned by Piranha Games president Ross Bullock. Bullock appeared on the No Guts, No Galaxy podcast and mentioned there is a new MechWarrior game in development at the studio. It's a single-player co-op game pretty much in line with MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, albeit it's also not a DLC for it. It's going to be a standalone game. It will be announced officially at sometime in 2023, and the developed floated September or the fall as the possible timing for the reveal. It will come to all platforms, PC and consoles, building on the technology base of the previous game. Speaking of the possibility of a new MechWarrior Online, Bullock mentioned there is the challenge that the license for the franchise is going to expire in 2025, which leaves time for the new single-player game and possibly some DLC for it, but a MechWarrior Online 2 would take a lot more time than that as a game as a service. Piranha would need an extension to at least 2030 to achieve that. That being said, the license has been extended before, and Piranha has a good relationship with Microsoft, so that's not impossible. Bullock also mentioned that he doesn't see an end in sight for the current MechWarrior Online, at least for the next 2 years, despite the fact that its revenue levels have decreased considerably since its heyday in 2013. The game is still profitable. Support will continue, and a dev blog about it will be published this week. The game will receive at least a bit more resources in 2023 than it did last year. If you're unfamiliar with the MechWarrior franchise, it's a series of video games which debuted in 1989, titled like the pen and paper RPG first published in 1986. They're part of the BattleTech universe, originally created by FAFSA Corporation in 1984, and centered about well-known mecha-focused tabletop war games and several series of novels. It was even portrayed in an animated series in 1994. Yes. The MechWarrior games were more notable closer towards their inception as actual video games than they have been as of late. So a resurgence of some really high quality MechWarrior games would be fantastic, because there's a big group of people that love mech games. This guy. I love mech games. Which, here's the thing though. We've also got another single player mech focused game coming out from a very notable developer in From Software. If you didn't know, Armor Core 6 is coming out supposedly this year, right? Releasing this year. And there's already a lot of hype. Please, From Software, figure out how to release games on PC. That's all. I mean, please, man. But it's there's a lot of hype there. From does make very good games. They just don't release on PC very well usually. But we'll have to see what comes. Okay. To me, I'm never gonna be upset about there being more mech games being made. All right. Mecha games. Masahiro Sakurai reveals new details on classic Nintendo GameCube game. The Nintendo GameCube played host to a number of classic games, many of which have never been released on any other platform. One example is Kirby Air Ride, a 2003 racing game featuring the denizen of Dreamland. The game was directed by Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's Masahiro Sakura, and the famed director recently shared a video in which he discussed the game's development. According to Sakura, he was the one that originally came up with the game's concept, and the decision to make a racing game came about because it would require a much shorter development time as opposed to an action game. At the time, Sakura was serving as chief director of Kirby, which meant he was in charge of overseeing the Kirby anime. At the same time, he was wrapping up work on Super Smash Bros. Melee. Sakura also oversaw work on all of the Kirby titles, but, quote, tried to leave that work to the people responsible for it. In the case of Kirby Air Ride, however, Sakura was unable to do just that. After development hit a rough patch, the game's lead programmer personally requested Sakura return to direct, and the gameplay was started over from scratch. In just 3.5 months, the game was finished. The full video can be found below. Interesting. Peter! What up, my friend? Good morning. Kirby Air Ride. Oh, this is 6 minutes, yo. This is 6 minutes. It's cool. We'll watch it. Yeah, let's see what's up. We'll watch it. Let's have some nice little video break here. Let's take a look.
星のカービィがアニメになりました。これはスマブラデラックス発売よりちょっと前ですね。この当時、私はカービィシリーズの統括ディレクターというものになり、アニメ監修を含めたいろんな仕事をしていました。スマブラデラックスの佳境と並行する時期もあり、大変でした。カービィのゲーム企画もいくつか動いていたのですが、その中に
Well, Kirby's notable. A lot of people love Kirby.
企画を考えたのは
I mean, look, dude.
まずゲームのコンセプトから。
I'm gonna low key flex on you right now.
言えばアニメカービィを制作するにあたり、
You know what I mean?
ゲームの製品群も必要であり、
do a little bit of
一つの
flexing.
正当アクションゲームを作るよりも時間がかからないと判断したからです。
I've been playing Kirby since way back.
夢の泉の物語、
My dudes and dudettes.
夢の泉デラックス。別会社で作っていた鏡の大迷宮。
Yeah, bro.
ゲームキューブ版のカービィを予定していました。ゲームキューブ版は、その後残念ながら発売中止になっています。エアライドの企画で考えたゲーム性については以前お話をしたことがありますが、探すのも大変でしょうから改めて解説します。まずレースゲームを考えた際、ドリフトが楽しいと仮定しました。実際のレースではグリップ走行の
Kirby just always sitting on the desk, man.
ドリフトには独特の回答があります。
Thanks, Peter.
なぜ楽しいのかについてはここでもリスクと
Yeah, Kirby just always hanging
コン
with
トロールを失いぶつかってはいけない壁が眼前に広がるスリル、それをうまく抜けた時の快感。で
Interesting.
はそれをさらに楽しくするなら
You make it look. I even got the old. Check it out. It wasn't even. I got the old night sight for it too. The old big old chunky night sight with like the magnifying glass and the flipping lights on the bottom of it and stuff.
また頂点を目指す
Peter, how are you today, buddy?
ないと思いました。0コンマ1秒の短縮を目指すのも一つのゲーム性ではありますが、一ところに集約するのではなく、むしろ広げる方向にデザインしています。特にシティトライアル。
My son's been playing a lot of Kirby here lately.
どう転ぶ
Really
か
been
わからな
digging
い
it.
パワーアップとスタジアムを楽しむという。頂点を目指す遊びを広がる方向への遊びにするのは大きなコンセプトです。
PTO cheered
ちなみにこ
X100.
こでクリアチェッカーというものを搭載しました。
Thanks, man.
これは PS3 や
Much
Xbox で
appreciated,
搭載される実績システムよりは前の登場となります。ある条件を満たすと
Very
隣にあ
kind.
った
Very
場所
kind.
のクリア条
Thanks for
件
the
が
cheers, bro.
なんとなく遊ぶものにも達成感を持たせようとして作ったものです。なおカービィのエアライドは64版で開発中止になったエアライドと関係なく、ゲーム性も異なっていますが、もしかしたらこうすればできそうかもという発想のもとにはなったかもしれません。なお64版はスノーボード風のゲーム性でした。私がカービィシリーズ
I will say, like, so we got the
いろんな仕事を後半に
the
見ています
latest like Kirby, what is it, the Kirby Feast game or whatever, and I was pretty disappointed that it's only two-player local. You can like 4-player multiplayer online, but you can only 2-player local that. Which is a really weird play to me, man. Like, why would they not 4-player local co-op that game? That was really, really weird.
そこで担当プログラマーの直接的な要望も受け、私が本ディレクターに戻り全面作り直しになりました。そこから仕様を切り直し、3ヶ月半で完成したのが現在のカービィのエアライドです。とんでもない急ピッチですが、まずコースやマシンの素材などはだいぶできている状態ではありました。また、かなり食らいついてくれました。それまでの開発で疲弊していたところもあるだろうけど、可能な限りを尽くしてくれたおかげで完成したのだと思っています。ところで、製品版のエアライドマシンはそれぞれすごく個性的です。単に加速度が高いとか曲がりやすいという性能だけでは収まらず、仕様ごと異なるような。が、実はみんな同じ仕様です。スター型とバイク型という違いだけはありますが、それ以外の中身は単なる。
This looks like a lot of fun, man.
これは新しく組み上がったプログラムにおいて数値でできうる個性を振り切った結果です。使用書自体もそうですが、パラメーターはすべて私が書いています。いつものことですけど、仕上がったカービィのエアライドは現在も高い人気を誇ります。他ではまず見られないゲーム性が満載になっているし、客観的にも随一の、個性を放っていると思います。そしてカービィのアニメが終わり、エアライドが完成し、役目を終えた私は半研究所を出て。
Oh, Peter, I'm great, buddy. I'm great. Sorry, I missed your message there. Yeah, I'm great, dude. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I was a bit under the weather a number of days ago, man. Yeah, I've never seen it before either, dude. Yeah, that's why I wanted to watch this. But I got over it pretty quickly, man. I was just real beat up, man. I was just really exhausted, I think, from a lot of the holiday travels and things. But I'm much better, man. Yesterday was a much better day. We're gonna have a great day, dude, with working more towards our end game here with Breath of the Wild, man. So thanks for asking, dude. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never played that. I'm glad you're good too, man. I'm glad. Great to hear. Game's lead programmer personally requested secure a return to direct, and the gameplay was started over from scratch. Just 3.5 months, the game was finished. Interesting. Secure always had a knack for telling stories about the video game industry, and it's interesting to see everything that went into making Kirby Air Ride. 2 decades after the game's release, Kirby Air Ride is still fondly remembered by a lot of GameCube fans. That wouldn't be the case had Sakurai not gotten involved. Developer HAL Laboratory has a penchant from remaking and re-releasing older Kirby games. It will be doing just that with Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on Switch next month. Hopefully, Kirby Air Ride will receive a similar treatment sometime in the future. That would be very cool. You know, the GameCube is one of those consoles that I didn't get to play much of for Nintendo. I didn't get to play very much GameCube, and I didn't get to play very much Wii U either. But I've never seen this title before, and that looks like a lot of fun, dude. It looks like a very cool title for them to bring to the Switch as well. So, very neat. And again, they're bringing Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe on Switch in February. Cool, if you didn't know. If you guys want more, if you want to watch that again or anything here, I'll throw that in there for you. Fortnite content update version 23.10 notes for all of you Fortnite players out there. All right. Burst assault rifle and shockwave hammer unvaulted, hurtling, bug fixes, and more. Kirby Wick. Yeah, I know, dude. Kirby, dude. Everybody loves Kirby, man. Yeah, dude. Dude, Byzant King's been playing Fortnite here lately, too. He's like, dude, I need you to play Fortnite with me. It's just been hard for me to find time here recently. Epic Games released an update for Fortnite yesterday, January 10th, adding some new content with it. Also brought several big changes to play with the video game. I never thought I would play it, but you know, if the community actually is very interested in having me play a game, then you know, I'll try to hop in it and give it a shot. You know, I've never been like a Fortnite hater. It just doesn't appeal to me, dude. It just doesn't. But I respect it for what it is. While the primary purpose was to fix all the bugs that had been bothering the community, there was a lot of stuff going on, especially with previous gen consoles, right? We had read about this previously. Previous gen consoles, especially, had significant issues with freezing and stuttering since this latest update had come out. Not this one, but the one previous to this before the holidays. While the primary purpose was to fix all the bugs that had been bothering the community, the developer has decided to make a few gameplay changes as well. Thanks to the update, players can now use the Shockwave Hammer once again. This article will reveal everything that was changed with the new Fortnite content update. We'll take a look at the biggest changes as well as the major patch that will be released next week. Content update brings a fan favorite weapon back. There it is. The Ban Hammer. Epic Games has brought the Burst Assault Rifle back with the that's the Shockwave Hammer, yeah. With the latest Fortnite content update. This fan favorite weapon is amazing and has served players well in multiple chapters, which is why it's unvaulting. It's great news. They're talking about the Burst Assault Rifle, though, not the Shockwave Hammer. The rifle comes in multiple rarities, can be found in many loot sources. Considering that it's just a regular gun, the Burst Assault Rifle can be found in floor loot and in chests. Lucky players will also be able to get it from supply drops. Fortnite has had several versions of the Burst Assault Rifle throughout its history. However, the latest update has unvaulted the 2-burst FAMAS variant. Okay, that's not going to work. Feels good. Besides the two-round burst rifle, Epic has also brought back the Shockwave Hammer. The iconic Chapter 4 item was briefly vaulted due to the numerous glitches that it had. Players used the hammer to get infinite charges and even gain additional health. Before Epic fixed the issue with the weapon, the development team disabled it, preventing further glitch abuse. It does seem insanely powerful. I've watched a little bit of Wick hammer bouncing around and stuff. Hurdling is a new movement mechanic that was released with Chapter 4 Season 1. Unfortunately, Epic vaulted it shortly after the season was released as it had a lot of bugs. The movement mechanic has been enabled with a new update, and players can now use it. Lastly, the latest update has also brought numerous bug fixes. The video game was nearly unplayable on older gaming systems, such as PS4 and Xbox One, but the patch should make it better. Furthermore, the reboot rally ended on January 10th, yesterday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Look, check it out. Let me do this real quick in chat. Our buddy and mod here, Wick, is a content creator and plays Fortnite quite often. So you should check out Wick. He'll say no, don't do it, but don't listen to him. He's a troll. He plays Fortnite quite often. Is very good at it, actually. So you should go check out Wick if you're interested in some Fortnite gameplay. And our buddy Byzantine has been doing some Immortals Phoenix Rising, playing some Fortnite, and is a fantastic Gwent player as well. Also one of our mods here, and is a great content creator as well. So you guys should check out these individuals if you want to see some Fortnite gameplay, okay? Next major update will come out in a week. Less than a week now. The Fortnite update has added smaller changes to the video game, but Epic will add even more content very soon. The next major patch is expected to come out on Tuesday, January 17th. Considering that Epic postponed Creative 2.0 for January 2023, there's a good chance that it will be released with the version 23.20 update. Additionally, the big patch will most likely add a Fortnite Kid Leroy concert as well. All right. We'll stay tuned. I'm sure we'll see all the list of what comes with the update that will hit here in roughly 6 days, okay? If you need anything more out of that, I'll link it for you. Yo, Ferret. What's up, my friend? What's up, dude? Gears of War is finally getting a new game. Interesting. If you're a Gears of War fan, I commend your patience. It's been 3 years since Gears 5 released, and Gears 6 is nowhere to be seen. Dude, what is are we just in this space where everybody wants like games to be pumped out like Assassin's Creed or what? I enjoy having a little bit of time to get hyped about a game. It weirds me out when games are just constantly being pumped out in a series. It makes it to where I feel like I can't get hyped about it. I feel like 2 to 3 years, pretty solid amount of time to get a good amount of development in for the next iteration of a good series. You know, I don't know. Is that just me? It's been 3 years since Gears 5 released, and Gears 6 is nowhere to be seen. Admittedly, the delay is down to the fact that the Coalition are switching over to Unreal Engine 5, but still, fans need their content fixed. Netflix will soon be giving them that. The streaming service has teamed up with Coalition to create a Gears of War film in addition to an animated series. With the potential for more series to follow, I can think of one actor who would be perfect as Marcus Phoenix. You know who I'm talking about? Dave Bautista. You're here for game-related news, though. It turns out a new Gears of War game is on the way, but it's not Gears 6 if that's what you're hoping for. Interesting. Look, dude, Dave Bautista, yeah, I can see Dave Bautista playing a role in a Gears of War adaptation. But we also just saw something just a moment ago. Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's something to be said for taking too long, but I also find it weird. Like, dude, like I said, Assassin's Creed is 15 years old. There have been 12 main title releases and 17 spin-offs in 15 years. How do you get hyped about anything in that series anymore? It's just so polluted, dude. You know, but I agree. Yeah, it's also it's a bit rough when you have to wait too long, right? But I'm okay with it taking 2 to 3 years for the next iteration to come out. I don't expect a new Final Fantasy game to happen every 6 months to a year or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's not me. That just seems like there's not enough uniqueness being put into the title. There's not enough love and creativity being put into the next iteration. What that is telling me is that they're just taking what has already been made, turning it into the next title, and changing a few elements about it. That's what I tend to take that as. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're not wrong. But I think it goes both ways, right? We just read something just a moment ago when we were looking up articles. What would you guys think about... Yeah, me either, Ferret. Me either. Dave Bautista playing Kratos. Could you see Dave Bautista with like a nice, solid beard playing Kratos, like painted up and everything? Dude, I think Dave Bautista could do a solid Kratos. He's got that deep, gruff voice already and everything. I think Dave Bautista could do a good Kratos too. Yeah, I never even thought about that until we were looking up articles just a moment ago, and there was an article that was that had brought that up, and I was like, dude, I could totally see Dave Bautista playing Kratos. I think he would do a pretty solid job with that. So let's see. Gears of War, the card game. That's what's coming out. Be ready. Gears of War, the card game, deploys in 2023. Here's what everybody's saying. I mean, cool, but where's Gears 6? A card game, but no Gears Tactics too? That's, yeah, I mean, but look, man, here's the thing. A lot of people love TCGs, right? And this could be a good universe for a TCG, depending on how well they develop it, right? And at least it's something to potentially tide people over as they get a game completed on UE5, right? Look, UE5 is insane. And can you imagine a Gears game coming out on UE5? It's going to look, well, yeah, I mean, card games have, I wouldn't even say lately. It's, card games have always been popular. They just continue to get more and more and more. And it's like a snowball effect. You know what I mean? Card games have always been popular. The transition of them into the video gaming world has seen a lot more incorporation, I would say, over the past half decade for sure. You talk about a lot of games like, you know, Inscription or Slay the Spire or I mean, dude, there are a ton of them. You know, there are a ton of games based on even if it's not like a TCG necessarily, but card game mechanics. There are a lot in the video gaming industry, and it is very popular. And I do think that over the past like half decade, it is really, really blown up. You know, but this, I'm guessing, is going to be more of a competitive type TCG if I was going to speculate. People are funny, dude. Let me see. Is this going to be a digital card game or what? I don't think so. I think this is actually going to be like a legitimate physical card game. Yeah, this is a physical card game. Interesting. Okay. Well played. Well played, Ferret. I mean, look, I don't think dude, we've seen a lot of different universes take on the card game stuff. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll test it out in the physical realm first before they try to adopt it to a TCG, but you're not wrong, dude. There are a lot of universes. What we see I mean, one game that did it very, very well was it's the Marvel Snap, right? This is the one of the latest big card games that came out. And I mean, look at the ratings on this. Look at the ratings on this. It's done very well. This came out at the end of the year last year, and it won a lot of awards, actually. It's done very well. Card games, people love card games, man. And there's a big competitive scene behind it, too. Dude, I nerded out as a kid playing Magic, you know? Like physical Magic, not even the digital TCG or anything. Not the digital game, just the physical card game. I nerded out for a while playing Magic back in the day. And card games can be a lot of fun. We have a lot of people in the community that play card games. Yeah, dude. Yeah, high school Magic, dude. Yeah, Ferret, for sure. Yeah. I've talked about this before. The thing that was crazy is like I had an older friend of mine that walked around with like some black lotuses in like flimsy plastic sleeves. You know what I mean? Those things are like $50K a pop nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, kind of crazy, man. How expensive some of those cards are nowadays that we used to roll around with back in the day. So yeah, I didn't either. I mean, I had some good old cards. I had like some Moxes and stuff like that. But I never had like Lotuses or anything. But I had a lot of Series 1's cards and stuff like that. But I hit some hard times back in the day, and I sold my entire collection on like eBay or something, dude. That is a huge regret for me. I haven't gotten rid of a lot of stuff like that in my life, but I hit a hard lick back in young adulthood, and I have a couple of cards. But not very many. I have a friend of mine. My best friend, dude, has a ton still. Has a ton of them. But I mean, back to the whole card game thing. It's like any kind of world that has enough material to potentially incorporate this kind of mechanic of a card game. It's not a bad play. It really isn't. I know it feels kind of polluted probably because there are so many of them, but if it's done in a very good way, it is a way to get people into something that tides them over for other entries into the series, And it doesn't necessarily have to be a new card game all the time. It's like have a card game, and it's one of those things where if you can, especially for video game players, if you can get it into the digital space for the card game, and you can just occasionally bring in some new content for the game, then it's something that gives people to dive into with a little bit of new content occasionally in between those new mainline entries and stuff. It's not a bad play from developers. It's really not. People love card games. Our buddy here in the channel, Byzantine, is a pro player at Standalone Gwent, which is a very, very good card game that's free to play from CDPR. It's very cool. Yeah, absolutely. Gateway game as well. You're not wrong, for sure. So, not a bad play, I would say. Trying to get... It looks like right now that's just going to be a physical game, but usually, quite often it'll work that way. They'll kind of try their hand at seeing how a physical game will work, and it can work vice versa as well. If it takes off physically, in physical space, seems like a lot of people are gravitating towards it, then especially if it was initially a video game to begin with, there's a pretty good chance it's going to become a digital TCG as well, So we'll just have to wait and see. But right now, it looks like it's just going to be a physical game to begin with. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it come to the digital space very soon. Square Enix adds de novo DRM to Forspoken. All right. If you didn't already have some, subtle kind of issues about maybe jumping into Forspoken whenever it releases initially, I think this will really drive it home for you. There have been issues with Forspoken. I think a lot of people are scared about this game now. I can tell you for a fact, it never really appealed to me anyways, but there have been numerous delays now. It hasn't looked great anyways to me. It's just not a very appealing game. One of the things that really, really was concerning to me was, if you remember, they released a demo with this game, right? They released a demo for Forspoken, and a lot of people weren't thrilled with it in the first place. And then they came out and were like, "Oh well, this isn't even gameplay from the game that's going to release." And everybody's like, "What?" They literally built the demo completely aside from anything you're going to experience in the main game. And they were very open about it. I was like, what are you talking about? Bait and switch, dude. Yeah. Everybody's like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, okay, understand this. Demos are making a resurgence, and I think big in part because of the fact that, what did I do here? Big in part because there's been so many issues in the past with us as the consumer feeling jebaited into buying games that didn't end up delivering on the promises that they offered, whether it be on the quality of the game or what was supposed to be in the game that wasn't there, what have you, in some form or fashion. So I think demos have made a big resurgence here of late to try to offer the game player, the potential consumer, a look at what they can expect to experience in the game, right? Before they have to buy it. Because let's be realistic about this situation. What many people have resorted to because of feeling cheated out of their money in the past is piracy, right? So I think a lot of developers went, we need to get back to using demos. We need to get back to using demos so we can show people what the game is about, what it's going to feel like, potentially before it releases. Now, that being said, demos are never something you should rely on for exactly what the finished product of a game is going to be, right? But it should at least give you something close to that experience, right? This is a different kind of situation. Whenever the developer comes out and goes, oh, hey, yeah, by the way, that demo was nothing out of the main game. It's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? You know? That's weird. That's weird. And now we've also got the fact that if you're not familiar with what de novo DRM is, it is a piracy. It's something that's supposed to prevent piracy from happening in game releases, right? Or in games, in software. And normally what'll happen is, yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. But they were very, like a few days after the demo release, they came out and said that. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? What I'm interested in is because there was a lot of critical feedback about the demo. I wonder if people had really liked the demo, if they would have said anything. But I'm wondering if it's because the feedback from the demo was critical, that they were like, oh, well, don't worry about it. You know, that's not part of the main game. You know? The game will be better. All right, Square. Anyways, the de novo DRM is software that is incorporated into the game on release to prevent piracy, right? But this software always, 99% of the time causes performance issues in the game itself. Maybe not, but maybe, right, Ferret? So, with everything else that's kind of made people a bit skeptical about Forspoken coming out. Now, my big thing I'm anticipating from Forspoken is that this is the first game coming to PC that is utilizing DirectX, or not DirectX, but direct storage technology. Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. And I'm going to talk about that too. If you don't know what direct storage technology is, you should look into it. It's basically a new technological kind of incorporation for video games from Microsoft that is cutting out some of the middleman hardware, specifically for like game processing, not needing certain the way processing has traditionally worked in the hardware. It's cutting out some middleman stuff, TLDR. Okay, so it's supposed to make the processing a bit smoother, load times faster, offload some of that hardware processing that used to be done or has traditionally been done in gaming. It's supposed to offload some of that. And it sounds, in theory, pretty good, right? But we'll have to see how it works. And that's about the only thing I'm really anticipating from this game. This game has been hyped up for a long time, but it scares the crap out of me. And the DRM stuff is always wild because the game will release with it. It'll make the game play like crap. And then a few days later, they'll remove de novo. And it's like, why did you even do it in the first place? You know, like, why did you even add it in there? De novo always causes issues. And look, man, people will always find ways around stuff, right? Almost always. So it's a weird situation. But, you know, if you weren't if you didn't already have some reservations, if you weren't a bit hesitant about this from things we had seen in the first place, I would say here's a bit of a cherry on top for maybe not wanting to dive into this on release. Because de novo, 99% of the time, causes some significant issues, even for games that would play smoothly on release. So be prepared if you are hyped about this game. There's, I would say, in my opinion, a large potential for a very not smooth release. I could be wrong, but just going off of the history of things like this, I am not anticipating a super smooth thing release going here for Forspoken. Okay, be careful. Is your PS5 melting? This is a like long kind of video here. My big thing, I just wanted to touch on this for people. The main thing is your PS5 melting? What we found is that over the recent kind of news articles and stuff here is that there is potentially some issues with people keeping their PS5 in a vertical or upright orientation, okay? The reason this is potentially causing issues is that there is a cooling mechanic that is based off a liquid metal cooling solution that is internally kept sealed between two components in your PS5, okay? This seal is a pressurized kind of compartment between two components that are pushed together or clamped together, okay? Now, what's happening is that this seal is potentially a bit faulty sometimes. Yeah, it's seals failing. So what you're going to hear all the time is there's a seal failing, right? That's what it is. There are these components that get when they're put together correctly, it creates a seal, is what it does, and it creates this airtight little area that this liquid metal sits in, and it cools the components down. It helps dissipate the heat, right? But what we're finding is that there is the potential for that seal to be faulty in certain PS5 models, or in a number of PS5 models, I guess. And what happens is if your PS5 is in a horizontal position, then there's not much of a propensity for that liquid metal to leak out and go outside of where it's supposed to be. It'll still kind of stay in that area where it's supposed to stay, or it's supposed to be initially, and it will do its job. But if you keep your PS5 in an upright or vertical orientation, then if that seal ends up failing, that metal will slowly leak out and it will cause your overheat issues, okay? Now, the big deal here is that this is potentially a reason for recall. And I'm guessing Sony's kind of crapping their pants because this is becoming a bigger, well-known issue for the public. I didn't know PS5s were having overheating issues until one of our community members recently told me theirs had started having issues. But my recommendation for anybody that has a PS5, because of this information that we've received, only causing an overheat, well, that's another thing. If it leaks out enough, right, then if it touches certain circuits and things like that, it can actually short out your PS5. But it's a slow leak, and from what I understand, this liquid metal is something that if it's not heated up, it won't necessarily be in a liquid state. I'm not all that versed in exactly what kind of material they're using. I've just heard it referred to as liquid metal cooling solution. So I'm not sure exactly, but I've seen some pictures, and it looks like if it's not heated up, it goes back into a kind of solid form, right? So I think what's happening is if it leaks out far enough, it's not getting too heated to where it keeps like leaking everywhere. It starts cooling and hardening again, is what it's looking like to me anyways. But the fact of the matter is, it's leaking out enough that it's eliminating enough of that cooling solution being in the pocket where it's supposed to be, and it's not doing its job anymore, and it's ending up resulting in it not being able to cool down the component and shutting down your PS5, right? So, but you're not wrong. If it leaks out far enough, it touches electrical components within your PS5, it can short out the PS5 itself, right? But that's kind of speculation for me. I'm not versed in fixing these or exactly what that material is that's being used. I've only heard it being referred to as the metal liquid cooling solution. That's it. So I would need to look further into it. But just know, if you've got a PS5, the best thing you can do for the longevity of that device is, if you can work it out, put it in a horizontal, okay, orientation rather than vertical or up and down, okay? That's my advice. Save yourself a bit of grief, probably. One thing, apologies. All right, new Xbox Game Pass titles for console, PC, and cloud have been dated, including Monster Hunter Rise, Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden. Microsoft has dated the next titles coming to Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and Xbox Cloud Gaming in January. Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden will join the service on January 19th, ahead of Monster Hunter Rise on January 20th, and Inkulinati? What is that? On January 31st. I don't know that I've heard of that. Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition, Stranded Deep, and Valheim Mistlands Biome Update were added to the Game Pass earlier this month. Valheim is amazing. They are working on a console version of this. Whenever the console version is finished and released, it will also be available for Xbox consoles on Game Pass, okay? For now, it's only available on PC, but as soon as they finish that console version, it will be on Game Pass for Xbox consoles. Following titles will leave Game Pass on January 15th. Danganronpa, Nobody Saves the World, Paparazzi, The Anacrusis, We Happy Few, and Windjammers 2. Cross-platform. I don't know. I don't think so right now, to be honest. I think right now it's only going to be on Xbox. I think. We could look into it, though. High on Life joined Xbox Game Pass in December and broke several notable engagement records for the service. According to Microsoft, it was the biggest launch of 2022, the biggest third-party launch of all time, and the biggest release of a single-player-only game. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers can currently claim 3-month trials of Apple TV Plus and Apple Music. Members who don't currently subscribe to either service have until the end of March to activate and claim free trials. We can look into it. Hold on. Valheim's amazing, though. Why am I screaming into the void? Valheim's amazing, dude. I haven't gotten to play the new update, but dude, we did like almost a 300-hour, was a 280-hour stream of my first experience with Valheim last year, and it was so much fun, dude. That game is brutal, though. That's a brutal game, dude. Valheim will release on Xbox Series X and S and One in early spring of 2023 as a console launch exclusive. Dude, yeah, I died to trees a couple times. Yeah. Yeah. The physics in the game are amazing. I think that's one of the best things about the game. The base building is incredibly, incredibly fun, and the physics, I think, are what really make the game so amazing. The physics in the game are incredible. So this is an Xbox exclusive console release, at least initially. Okay. That's what we're reading here, and that's what I thought I had heard before. So, will be Xbox exclusive for consoles at least initially. Yep. TMNT Shredder's Revenge is now on mobile, exclusive to Netflix members. What? No way, dude. Interesting. That's a good play for Netflix. Has made some good plays, dude. The streaming service is the only way to access the game on iOS and Android. Netflix, dude. So look, for those of you that aren't aware, Netflix really pivoted heavy into wanting to get into gaming. They created this entire gaming division last year. They said, look, we're going to release roughly, 50 games by the end of the year on their platform. The only way you can play their games is on their platform. You have to have a subscription to Netflix. So Netflix has had some turmoil over the past couple of years. They've lost a lot of subscribers, right? They're looking for another way to bring people into their service. And gaming seems to be their play. This is their new venture, right? So it was something that we followed fairly closely over the past year, obviously doing the news. And I've been actually pretty surprised at some of the notable titles they got on their platform. Now, Netflix has bought a number of development studios themselves. They have been publicly announcing that they're working on a AAA title right now. But they've gotten a number of other titles, notable titles, to be on their platform. All right. Here's the thing you need to know. Yes, you have to have a subscription to Netflix to play their games, but there are no microtransactions in their games, and there are no ads in their games either. Okay. So, yes, do you have to pay to play their games? Yeah. But you're getting the Netflix service for video and TV, and you're getting their game service at the same time. And if you're playing their games, there's no ads, there's no monetization or anything. So that's a good thing, right? Like a lot of mobile titles, you're dealing with a lot of ads, monetization, things like that. So at least they're giving you that. It's like, yo, you're buying into our service. We're not going to make you deal with any of that crap. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think, for anybody that is still part of Netflix's service, this is just a bonus, But this is absolutely a play for them to try to get more people to buy into their service. They lost a lot of subscription over the past few years. It dwindled significantly. It hurt their profit margins for sure. And this is their pivot to try to get people in. So this is their latest, Shredder's Revenge. But dude, they've got things like Into the Breach. They've got Oxenfree. They've got some of their own titles too, but they've brought in some notable titles to their gaming platform. There are other ones that I'm not thinking of right now that are notable. There was a big one that was in for awards this year too that I can't think of the name of it right now. But there are a number of notable titles on their platform. I've been pretty surprised at how well they've done over this first year of just bringing in some good titles to their platform. Netflix has published mobile versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, the retro-style beat-em-up, which was released on consoles and PC in June of last year to critical acclaim, is now available on iOS and Android through their platform, okay? However, while the game can be found by searching on Google Play and the Apple App Store, it can only be accessed by Netflix members as part of their subscription. The game can also be found on the Netflix mobile app, either by choosing the Games tab or searching Games, alongside the other Netflix exclusive mobile games currently available. Shredder's Revenge is developed by Tribute Games, which was co-founded by a trio of developers who had worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Like that title, Shredder's Revenge is a retro-style beat-em-up and serves as a spiritual successor to the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat-em-up, in particular, Turtles in Time, though the game has no connection with Konami, which developed and published those titles. As well as the 4 Turtles, players can also play as April, Master Splinter, and Casey Jones, baby. Shredder's Revenge is developed by Tribute, like they said, which was co-founded by a trio of developers who had worked on Scott Pilgrim. Yeah. Yep. This release marks the 50th mobile game available via Netflix since it first rolled out a trial of its mobile game service in Italy and Spain in September of 2021. You still have Turtles in Time on SNES? Bro, that is sick. I loved that game. I never owned it, but I played the crap out of it a lot. Yeah. Oh, here are some of their other ones. Other titles available via the Netflix app include the critically acclaimed Point P, 3 games based on Stranger Things, mobile ports of Oxenfree, 12 Minutes, and Kentucky Route Zero. Okay? So those are some of the other notable games. Now, last year what they said, they were like, we're going to have 50 games on our platform by the end of the year. They missed it by 11 days. All right? They missed it by 11 days, but they did very good. Okay? They hit their 50th mobile title, and it's a notable one, man. Shredder's Revenge. This is supposed to be a very, very good game. And if you have Netflix, dude, you can go play it right now. That's actually really solid. They've got a lot of really notable games on their platform. Again, these are not just the Point P, Oxenfree, 12 Minutes. What was it? Into the Breach. Dude, they've got a lot of good games on their platform right now for the first year of them really having this out as a full feature on their service. You know, so I'm kind of impressed. Time will continue to tell. Pivoting into the gaming industry is not easy. Let's be very honest. A big thing that is going to be the telltale sign of how well they're going to do moving forward is, can they produce their own good content of software, right? It's a really good play by them to get these nice titles that other developers have made, get it put onto their platform for access. That's a great play to get people interested in being part of their platform. But being able to create your own content, good content, that people go, hey, man, you should really, really take a look at getting into Netflix gaming because their games are sick. That's what's going to be the tell about how long their gaming service is going to last, right? And that's for any, because look, they're not the only it helps to have a name to build on. It helps to have capital to invest into that venture, right? Of getting into the gaming industry. But it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It hinges on your ability to create great content. And we see other platforms trying to do the same thing. Gaming is very lucrative. It can be if you know what you're doing and you can do it right. So far, it looks like I'm actually kind of impressed with what Netflix has done so far, but time will tell. There are other platforms, other companies trying to do the same thing. TikTok is trying to do the same thing Netflix is doing. They're trying to pivot into gaming. There are a lot of industries that are, or a lot of companies, especially within the other forms of entertainment, that are trying to pivot in and get into gaming because there's a lot of money to be made. But their propensity to be able to stay in gaming and do it well is something that time will tell, right? It's not easy. And we'll see how it goes. I think Netflix is doing well so far, but it's really going to hinge on their ability to create their own great content moving forward. This is a great play, though, dude. They got Shredder's Revenge on there. That's sick, man. That's really cool. Wonder Woman game adds God of War Ragnarok veteran. WB Games' upcoming Wonder Woman video game has added a veteran developer that recently worked on God of War Ragnarok. In case you may have forgotten, at the end of 2021, WB and Monolith Productions announced Wonder Woman was in the works. The title was shown off solely via a CGI teaser trailer, though, which means we still don't know a lot about how it will play. While the silence surrounding the project will likely come to an end later this year, we now know that Monolith continues to assemble a strong development staff. As of the start of this year, Mila Pavlin joined the Wonder Woman development team at Monolith Productions. Pavlin is serving at, is serving as a design director UX on Wonder Woman, which is similar to the previous roles she held at Santa Monica Studio when working on God of War Ragnarok. While this might not seem like a monumental move, it's actually a pretty big deal. Pavlin primarily works on accessibility features for video games, and her work that was done on Ragnarok was so lauded, it actually won an award at the Game Awards this past year. As such, it seems like Wonder Woman will also be on the cutting edge when it comes to accessibility. Accessibility is a huge thing in gaming nowadays, and that's great. As mentioned, there's still very little that we know about Wonder Woman right now, outside of the fact that it will be a single-player open-world game. WB hasn't commented to a launch window of any sort on this title, so it's hard to know when it will see the light of day. Look, WB is really, really focused on the release of Hogwarts Legacy right now, right? So the fact that we haven't really seen anything on Wonder Woman to an extent right now is not very surprising. We will see more on this after they shift focus from their release of their highly anticipated upcoming title of Hogwarts Legacy, right? In all likelihood, though, whenever it does end up launching, it should be available across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC platforms, all right? So I really don't expect to see much until probably sometime the end of February, probably March, about more on Wonder Woman. It doesn't mean we won't, but WB is very, very focused right now on trying to ensure that their big title for this year kicks off right. Yeah. Tris, what's up, my friend? Hey ya. What's going on? How are you? Here's another cooling issue for you guys. We read about this the other day, right? The Radeon, and shout out to No Chance RPG. We've discussed a lot some cooling issues here recently, and across like PS5s and the new Radeon GPUs, AMD Radeon GPUs, and No Chance was the one that kind of informed me that the new AMD GPUs were having cooling issues, specifically with their reference cards, and at least that's what we think right now. Anyways, that's the water cooler talk. But apparently, MSI is launching its first Radeon 7000 GPUs using its own gaming trio design. So they are set to debut their Radeon RX 7900 XTX and XT GPUs, which are supposed to be selling at about a $900 and $1,000 price point in January this month. And in MSI Gaming Trio Classic form, it's skipping AMD reference model design. These are the ones that are having significant overheating issues. MSI is set to bring its first batch of Radeon 7000 series GPUs to the market in January with two models, the Radeon 7900 Gaming Trio Classic and Radeon 7900 Gaming XT, so the XTX and XT Gaming Trio Classics. In terms of cooling, these will not use the AMD reference designs that have recently been making the news due to vapor chamber issues, but instead will use MSI's recognizable Gaming Trio design. Both cards will use MSI's Tri-Frozer 2 thermal system with Torx Fan 4.0 technology, enhanced PCB materials, and an anti-bend backplate. Both will ship with brackets for that extra dose of physical support, and 3x8 power pin requirements. This puts their physical real estate in the 2.5 slot region. So they've got the specs and everything for these as well. The big thing that we're talking about here, the scare is are these cards just overheating from the reference design? That's what AMD was stating. it was our reference design. That's the issue. So as long as that is the only thing that's wrong, because if you're not aware, this is the way this works. Whether it be NVIDIA or it be AMD, either one, they make their reference cards, right? They create these cards, they create the chips, they create their reference cards, and to show off what they're capable of. And then these third-party retailers take their cards and put their own spin on it, if you will. And then they sell them out. Like, whether you talk about MSI, Asus, you know, there's a lot of other retailers that do this. For the I'm blanking, but I was going to say EVGA, but EVGA is no longer doing graphics cards. They basically were like, yo, we're tired of dealing with these first party retailers, the creators, the manufacturers of the chips and everything. They're doing us wrong. We're done with this. So EVGA backed out here recently, and they're no longer doing these cards. Yeah, fair. That's my thing. Is like, we'll see how this works, right? So if it is actually just the AMD reference model design, then there shouldn't be issues with people buying the third-party cards like MSI is launching here, right? Whether it be MSI or Asus, as long as their thermal designs are good, right? In replacing the reference model design. But if there's some other underlying issue, then we will find out. We will find out here. People will find out, and we will find out here as well, right? If you need more info on these cards, it's right there in chat. Gamers confused about Dead Space pre-orders. If you're not aware, you can pre-order Dead Space. The only place you can get this deal that I'm about to talk about is on Steam. But if you pre-order the Dead Space remake, you can get Dead Space 2, original Dead Space 2 for free. That is on no other platform but Steam. But if you pre-order the Dead Space remake, even if you had previously pre-ordered it, or anytime you pre-order it, I think up until launch on Steam, you will get Dead Space 2 for free. But it's only on Steam. We just hit on that yesterday. An unusual pre-order bonus for the upcoming... Okay, that's what they're talking about. Remake of Dead Space has left fans scratching their heads and wondering what's next for the series. Okay, hold on, man. Yeah, the bonus offer doesn't appear to be available on other digital storefronts. The Epic Game Store, PlayStation, Xbox, all don't mention the 2011 sequel. What do you mean, Ferret? Are you sketched out about this? Dead Space 2 is being offered as a pre-order bonus. Doesn't make sense since the remake is going to follow most of the same story beats as the original, and the sequel follows on from that. So it has the fans wondering what will happen next with the series. I talked about this yesterday. Look, I'm not going to dive into this. Let's just... Oh, horror-style games just not your thing. Look, we played the entire Dead Space series in this past October. We do Scaretober in this channel. What's funny, Ferret, is that horror games I always kind of just subconsciously stayed away from. As a kid, I watched older cousins of mine play horror games, and they freaked me out. Like old Resident Evil games and stuff. And they freaked me out, even though I love horror movies, man. That's my thing. And so I think subconsciously, I just always stayed away from horror genre games. I never really played them. And then the first year I started streaming in May of 2021. And so it was coming up on October, and I was like, you know what? We're going to do Scaretober. And so I just kind of forced myself into playing horror games. We played Soma, Alien Isolation, Evil Within 1, Evil Within 2. What else did we play? Fear 1, Fear 2, and then I think maybe one or two more games that October. And then this past October, man, we did Scaretober again, and it was a lot of fun. We played both the Outlast games. We played Fear 3 because we didn't get that played the previous Scaretober. We played all kinds of stuff. Little Nightmares games. We played a lot of stuff. I'm missing some for sure. I just can't think right now. But I've really been enjoying it. I played all the Dead Space games. Played all the Dead Space games this past October. which we refer to as Scaretober. If you look at the schedule that we made up, October is not referred to as October on the schedule. It is labeled Scaretober. So here's what's funny is, like, I actually talked about this yesterday. Again, if you're not aware, basically what this article is getting down to is that on Steam only, if you pre-order Dead Space Remake, you will get Dead Space 2 Original for free. Okay? What I've been saying is that it looks like Dead Space Remake is potentially going to be very good. I think it could end up scratching that Dead Space itch that Callisto Protocol was not able to scratch, right? The Callisto Protocol, again, is the recent Glenn Schofield release that Glenn Schofield being the creative mind behind the original Dead Space games. And it did not hit the mark, apparently. It was not a great experience for a lot of people wanting a Dead Space-esque game. The first two Dead Space games were very, very, very good. The third one was fine, but it was like a co-op kind of game that didn't really give you the scary ambiance that the first two did. It was horror, yeah, but it wasn't, anxiety-inducing. It wasn't really all that scary. It was just more of an action-based kind of game you played with somebody else. But the first two Dead Space games were amazing. My thought process is here with so many other companies that have been remaking games as of late. If Dead Space 1 Remake does very, very good, or even moderately well, it'll be an easy go for Dead Space 2 to be remade as well by EA. The fact of the matter is here, Dead Space 1 Remake means that EA already has a ton of assets in their pocket to easily go for the Dead Space 2 Remake. It sets them up to be able to make Dead Space 2 very easily. Because there's even an amount of Dead Space 2 that kind of utilizes the same kinds of areas in Dead Space 1. They just look a little bit different. Not entirely, but there are a lot of assets they would be able to reuse in Dead Space 2 Remake that they already have available from the Dead Space 1 Remake. So it just makes sense that they would be able to just jump right in if Dead Space 1 Remake does fairly well. I'm not real excited about the fact that EA is probably going to do solid with this title. Dude, I don't have a whole lot of faith in EA as well, but this is what I'll say. When EA usually does decent, they do decent with their single player games. They usually do terrible with their multiplayer games. And these are single player campaign games. So, I don't have a lot of faith in EA either. I actually hate them as a developer. But I think that they've got some things going for them here in the fact that they do a decent job. If they're going to succeed, they usually succeed with their single-player campaign games. And, yo, Reject, what's up? Good morning, my friend. How are you? And I think that the fact that a lot of people saw Callisto Protocol as a failure sets up Dead Space Remake for a bigger potential for success, honestly. Because, it didn't scratch that itch that people wanted for Dead Space. Dead Space has been gone for a long time. People have been wanting Dead Space to come back for a long time. And Callisto Protocol wasn't it. A lot of people did not like what they got out of Callisto Protocol. So I think they're looking for Dead Space Remake. And I think that EA is going to be successful with it, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of EA, dude. But I think that I'm just being realistic about the situation, you know. Netflix just added one of his best games yet. Dude, we just talked about this. If you don't know, I don't know how I brought this up twice. Netflix just added Shredder's Revenge, which is amazing. That's their 50th game on their platform. It's there. They've got some other notable titles. We just talked about it. Go play it if you're interested. Again, on their platform, no monetization, no ads. You just have to be a subscriber to their service. That's it. Resident Evil 4 fans get good news about game's release. RE fans looking forward to the imminent remake of RE4 coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S, and X. The new update more or less confirms the game will not be getting delayed unless something comes up completely out of left field. Did it go gold? In an age where games are constantly delayed, including right before release, this is great news and should squash any concerns that won't make its March release date. How do we know it's very unlikely to be delayed before release? Well, according to producer on the game, Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, the team at Capcom is in the final spurt of making the game. In other words, it's in the final stages of development, which usually means the pushing stage. It's rare for games to be delayed once they hit this stage. Games that are delayed last minute are often coming in hot with minimal or insufficient polishing. We are working hard to provide you with more information about Resident Evil 4 in preparation for its release on March 24th, said Hirabayashi. The game is also in the final spurt to make the team united and make it a little better. Please just wait a little longer. Yeah, at this rate, it won't be very surprising if the game goes gold soon. If you don't know what that means, going gold means it would take something significant. That's like basically a set in stone release date is what gone gold means. That means they are like packaging the game up for release. It's any kind of physical copies are being like packaged up and printed up and sent out, and the release date is basically set in stone. It would take something incredibly significant to delay anything after it goes gold, which means it hits a stage of development where it's complete and ready to print onto disc. It doesn't mean work on the game stops, though, right? Because patches will come out after the fact. RE4 is set to release worldwide on March 24th via PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One Series S and X. The game is currently available to pre-order both digitally and retail. A lot of people looking forward to RE4. This is one of the more, if not most, notable original Resident Evil games. And people are really, really, really excited about the RE4 remake. So, March, people, March. League of Legends Season 2023 trailer underwhelms players, Riot Games responds. Riot Games put out League of Legends Season 2023 cinematic this week. A trailer meant to kick off the start of the new season and to get players hyped for what's to come. That's been the goal of past season cinematics anyway, and while it's rare that everyone is 100% sold on each cinematic, players seemed particularly underwhelmed by the Season 2023 video. Riot acknowledged the sentiment with the community and agreed it missed the mark in regards to what players were anticipating. Reject. Dude, if I didn't tell you or give you a shout out at the end of the stream for the resub the other day, dude, thank you again. I appreciate it. If you haven't seen the cinematic, you can check it out below to see what you think about it. It's much more reserved than what we've seen in the past, and while it offers a clever perspective on a walkthrough of Summoner's Rift, players seem to be missing the action element typically present within these sort of cinematics. Further down, you can see the cinematic from last year as a comparison to show what players experienced previously, and based off the 2022 cinematic, you can perhaps see why players might have been surprised to get this newest one. All right, cool, man. Yeah. This was a non-toxic place. You're bringing up League of Legends. Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm just making sure. Dude, I've been so brain fogged, dude, from being sick and everything. I was trying to catch up and give people props, dude. And I just want to make sure I'm hitting everybody, man, because it does mean a lot to me. And I don't want to leave people out that I don't want people to feel like what they've done here doesn't mean something to me. You know what I mean? So just making sure, dude. Let's take a look at this. I don't think we've seen this. And now that we know Ferret's big on League of Legends, let's do this for Ferret.
Once again, I stand at the brink of infinity. What lies beyond the shrouded path? Death?
Never actually played League. I tried it. I tried it.
The best part of me will live on in the scars I leave behind.
It was end of 2020. I tried League of Legends just a little bit, just to see what the hype was about. It didn't keep me. There was nothing about it that I was like, I need to keep playing this,
Trusting nothing but my strength. I have have found my limit 1,000
Did you try
times.
Smite? Very displeased.
And
Really?
still
There are a lot of people I think that
press
like Smite.
further.
Have you seen some of the? There's some new. I'll talk about it in a second. Hold on.
Every mistake, a lesson. Now I
What is
will
it about
teach
these kinds of
them
videos that always seem
fear
so
me.
stuttery to me?
I will become what I must be. Why? Because I can.
Like, it looks okay right now, but then there are other sections of it where it just looks stuttery. Yeah. Yeah, mine either. But sometimes I'll just take a quick dive into a game just to see if I can get a bit of what the hype's about. You know what I mean? Yo, random mode time. Man, I need to give a sub out. Nice, Ferret. Okay. Yeah, that was underwhelming, you know? Nice, dude. Pineapple pizza. Let's go. Dude, I would eat the crap out of that. Oh, I haven't had pizza in a minute either. I need like a whole Chicago-style deep dish pizza, dude. Riot responded to the situation in a thread on Twitter explaining the reason behind the cinematic and acknowledging that the intent behind this year's seasonal cinematic could have been communicated clearer. Quote, "We've launched the cinematic as part of season start every year since 2018, and make no mistake, everyone on League knows how much you love them. So do we," the thread began. "This year, there were some unprecedented circumstances that had us choose an alternate approach to the season 2023 video. However, we believed it could still embody League's broad universe and competitive spirit while celebrating the start of a new season. But we've heard your feedback, and we want to acknowledge Brink of Infinity missed the mark for the action-packed, champion-led trailer you expected, has led to further speculation about our investment in League. Honestly, we should have been more communicative and might have helped with some of that feeling and speculation. We do believe that League has a bright future, and we are investing in that. We can do a better job of sharing those plans with you. We're committed to giving you more details about what that investment looks like in the next couple of days. Really appreciate your passion and feedback, and League's success wouldn't be possible without your dedication. Thank you." Yeah, okay. And that's the 2022 cinematic season. Cinematic. So, to see the difference if you want it. What I'll say is, like, I didn't see the appeal, right? I played League, dude, probably for like a total of like 20 to 25 hours. Nothing extensive at all. But I didn't see the appeal. It didn't keep me engaged. I respect it. There are a lot of people that love it. There's got to be a reason behind it. But not everything appeals to everybody, right? Like all of us that are talking right now in chat, it's not really our jam. Now, I think that a lot of these MOBA style games are pivoting a bit. If you take a look at some stuff like, check this out. I would be more interested in, and these are more along the lines of like what you've seen in like Smite, right? But some of these I've seen lately are a bit more appealing. I've been like, I would probably get in there and try these out. You know, where are these? Where's that, dude? Was it Paragon? Was that the name of it? Dude, why am I not seeing this? No, it's in my Superfuse. We're gonna be playing that soon. That's actually terrible, dude. But that's another one of those things we've talked about. Like, there needs to be good reporting systems in games, right? We talk about that a lot because of issues like that. People are just toxic assholes, and they want to just, be that way. The reporting systems are good, but they need to be utilized the correct way. And for the developer, they need to be able to differentiate between idiots that are using them improperly and people that are actually using reporting systems the right way, you know? It's hard to do quite often. Where is this? Dude, I am tripping. Hogwarts. Predecessor. There was another one that came out right around the same time as Predecessor, but it had terrible reviews. It was a free-to-play one, but this is another like MOBA style game. I think I'd be more apt to get into something like this.
Era where worlds collide.
This is more Smite style though, right? I mean, this is where you're like real third person.
Where your first mistake.
I never played Smite though.
Last.
Oh, really, Reject?
You must choose your battles.
Oh, dude, I got so many games on my list. I've got so many old games on my list too that I need to address. This is just something I saw recently. Somebody brought it to my attention, and it's out now. It's like a $10 get-in fee to start playing this, but
What will you do?
something like this is a bit more interesting looking to me to try out potentially than just the top-down MOBA stuff, I think. But it doesn't mean it would necessarily grab my attention all that much either, you know? This one's had pretty decent reviews so far, though. Very positive so far, 80%, basically 85, coming up on 85%. So, I don't know. I've thought about maybe jumping in there. It's like, okay, it's up to $20 to buy in to play this game. And they've got other editions and stuff, but I don't know if that's worth, you know what I mean? What I will say is that, you know, I think that Epic's done a great job with, you know, League of Legends was, it's loved. A lot of people love League of Legends, right? And, dude, if you haven't watched Arcane, I know I've said this before, but dude, they did a fantastic job with that adaptation on Netflix. Even if you're not a League of Legends fan, I don't know a whole lot about that universe either. I've played a very, very small amount of that game. But dude, Arcane is an amazing experience on Netflix. That show is fantastic. And I've had other people I've told that to that aren't League of Legends fans either, and they're like, dude, you were right. That show is great. And I think that's one of the things that Epic has done well is they've taken League. The lore is actually really good behind it. I think that's one of the things they've done very well. They've created a really good universe, a fantasy universe, right? And they've been able to do a lot of different spin-offs. They also have a really cool fighting game coming out based on the League of Legends universe, and the League of Legends characters. What is it? Project? Oh, God, dude, I'm tripping. Is that it? Yeah, Project L is something else you can look into. This is a fighting game that's in development right now by Riot, and it looks really solid, dude. So if you're into fighting games, you know, it's a good universe. And I think they've done a very good job of branching outside of the MOBA, which made the League of Legends stuff so popular in the first place, and giving people a different kind of opportunity to dive into what this universe offers, because I think there's a good amount of lore here, and they've done a good job with it. They've got really rich characters and storylines, and I think it's a very fun place. But not everybody's into the MOBA space, right? So I think they've done a good job at branching off, whether it be, you know, they're getting into the fighting game stuff. They've got some other RPGs. They've got Arcane, which is on Netflix, and it's a very fun watch, dude. I can't wait for the next season. That's like my most anticipated show right now on Netflix. Is like the next season of Arcane. And I've never been into League of Legends, the game, you know. So there's something to be said for that. They do a good job with that stuff. But why we initially got into this was apparently, dude, they missed the mark on this season 2023 release cinematic, man. It didn't look great. This is the same thing. Yeah, we won't read into that. We just talked about it. Reject. Yeah, fair. Very first Smite match, some dude tries to report me for feeding. Brand new at the game, haven't been back since. Yeah, I mean, that's another issue of, like, how important it is to have a process for new players in a game to kind of be, especially in competitive games, to be slowly integrated into what the game has to offer to you to kind of for you to hone your skills a bit as you get through, especially for skill, like some kind of skill-based matchmaking, ranked-based matchmaking, stuff like that, you know. And not saying that Smite didn't have that at the time or whatever, but that's why that is so important, right? It's like, dude, your first match ever, you're going to go in there and you're going to get, like, reported for something like that. Like, what was that guy, you know? Like, come on. If you're in a casual playlist, you can't report people for things like that. You can't. If you're in a casual playlist, dude, get wrecked. But if you're in a competitive playlist and you're at, like, the very first rank of the game for competitive, then you also can't put any kind of stock into a report like that because people are learning the game. So that's where matchmaking systems come into a very, very needed incorporation into competitive gameplay, right? Reject. Plague Tale Requiem story ending was a bit of a letdown. That sucks. Last of Us 2 as well. That also sucks. Huh. I haven't played any of the Plague Tale games, and I haven't played any of the Last of Us games yet. On our schedule, by the way, here you guys go. If you didn't see this, I finished this last night. So schedule's up. It's on our Discord as well, but it should be a bit more pleasing to look at now. So if you want to take a look at it, it's linked. And Last of Us is kind of on the schedule, but not really. Kind of, it's just like I have an issue with that game coming out and probably being like $60 to $70 when it's already been out on PS5 for like half a year, just because it's coming to PC. Yeah, I know, man. I really want to play The Last of Us, but I hate the way PlayStation does stuff. It pisses me off that they won't just like get with the program and release their games on PC. You know? No. Last of Us is HBO, brother. And that is popping off in 4 days. Last of Us is on HBO. That's popping off in 4 days, man. But you're right. Yep, adaptation kicking off in 4 days on HBO. And actually, the very first episode is like an hour and a half long. And it's supposed to be very canon, dude. It's supposed to be very, very close to what the original story was. And it is looking like a very good watch. This is what's funny is every once in a while, if a show comes out on HBO that I really want to watch, I'll like grab a month of it. And I'll just binge watch everything that I want to watch on HBO. And then I'll just be like done with it. I'll do it. Yeah, dude, I've heard great things about the game. But this is one of those shows that I really want to watch, but I haven't played the game yet either. So I don't know if I'm going to dive into it yet. I'm really hesitant. But I want to watch the show so bad. But it would spoil the game. I know it would. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But I want to watch the show very badly. But I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. But that first episode coming out on the 15th is like an hour and a half long. So we'll see. Duelist source code is now free for everyone. No strings attached. Counterplay Games is releasing the source code and assets for its critically acclaimed CCG for developers to use as they like. Nearly 3 years after its doors closed, collectible card game Duelist returned in December as Duelist 2, an updated version of the game created by a team of fans who were given a license to make the game from original developer Counterplay Games. Now Counterplay is expanding that opportunity for everyone. The studio announced today that it is making the Duelist source code and assets free for everyone to use in whatever way they like. The truth is, to this day, we still look back fondly at what our little game achieved and reminisce with our community on Reddit and Discord. Counterplay Games lead producer Richard Hine told PC Gamer, "We are even following some Duelist-inspired games and projects. Through it all, one thought strongly resonated within our minds. People are still talking about Duelist." Quote, "We are experiencing some major changes in our industry, new technologies and consoles, and even massive consolidations that have occurred over the past couple of years. While only time will tell how these changes will alter the landscape, these shifts can potentially hit indie developers the hardest. That's why we want to recognize that these developers, be that they sole individuals or small teams, are vital for the growth and diversity of our industry. Hines said that one relatively simple but also rare way to establish studios can support aspiring developers is to release the source code from their older games, so newcomers have the opportunity to experiment and build their own dream projects and games. A couple of early projects based on the Duelist source are already in the works, and Hine expressed particular gratitude to Dream Sloth Games for its work on making Duelist 2 happen. We liked Duelist quite a bit when it debuted in 2016, calling it gorgeous tactics card game. It's simple to pick up, but has significant depth in their 84% review. It had a pretty good run over the next 4 years, but the CCG genre is a tough place, and in January of 2020, Counterplay announced that the servers were being taken offline. And since Duelist was an online-only game, that was the end of it. The fan-developed return of the game as Duelist 2 was great news for players who missed the original, but the release of the source code and assets could potentially open the door for even more interesting things in the future. Quote, "There are no strings attached," Hines said. "All the source code and game assets are for you to use and for the community to leverage how they like. There's no approval or permission from us, and you can grow, sustain, and monetize it however you would like. Enjoy and have fun." That's pretty awesome. It's a rarity. You don't see that happen very often. If you'd like to take a poke around and see what's what, the Duelist source code and assets are available now from GitHub. To keep up with the state of Duelist's open source future and maybe getting involved with a project or two, head over to the Open Duelist Discord server. All right, that's pretty amazing, man. Pretty cool. Here's the link if you guys need it. All right. I laughed when I saw this. I laughed when I saw this article. This is the last article I have for the morning for the news. We went long today. There's a lot of stuff, though, so it's good, man. If you have anything to add that I haven't touched on today or in previous news segments, let me know. We'll address it before we move forward to day 31 of our Breath of the Wild playthrough. Cool? Final Fantasy 16 producer suggests PC players should just buy a PS5. Yeah. Hey, Final Fantasy 16 producer, why don't you just buy me one? All right. How about that, dude? Why don't you just buy me one? Or why don't you just get PlayStation to start releasing their games on PC? How about one of those options? All right, buddy? You asshat. Bro, come on, dude. Like, first of all, check it out. In my opinion, PlayStation just needs to get with the program, get their heads out of their butts, dude. No, that worked, dude. I liked it. You used it because you thought this was a joke or what I said was a joke, dude. Either way, it worked, dude. I liked it. Dude, it really is, Ferret. It's like up there with the title. Yo, dude, it seems like a joke, but it's not, dude. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant, Reject, but I just wanted to make sure. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, Ferret, you're right, dude. Don't you guys have phones? Like, what? Just buy a PS5. Yeah. Hey, bro, just buy me one. Just buy us all one. All right? You turd? Dude, first of all, this is like PlayStation needs to get their heads out of their butts and just start releasing their games on PC day one as well. All right? It's inevitable. If they want to play ball in the gaming industry, they're going to have to get on the same playing field as Xbox. I honestly think it's inevitable, dude. They've already relinquished to the fact of like, okay, we've got PlayStation Gaming. We're going to start releasing our games faster on PC, it's going to happen, dude. They're going to have to. They're going to have to. It's stupid that they don't, really. I think that the past couple of years, how hard it was for people to get their hands on PS5 made them realize how much money they were missing out on by not having their software on PlayStation or on PC anyways. But it's been a long time coming. PlayStation, I get it, dude. It's easier for Xbox because they're Microsoft. Microsoft also makes Windows. You know what I mean? But, dude, PlayStation's just missing out on money, dude. But I think what they think is that, like, and for a long time it worked. Don't get me wrong. For a long time, PlayStation, and PlayStation does make a lot of good proprietary games. And for a long time, it got people to buy their consoles. But I don't think it's working as much anymore. I don't think as many people are going, oh man, I need to buy a PlayStation so I can play this one game. I quit. I know that I've heard other people say the same thing. You know, yo, Miso, what's up, friendo? Yeah, man, you lurk away. He loves that rage emote, dude. You know, I know that there's still a good amount of people that buy a PS5, but it's not as much as it used to be for the proprietary PlayStation-only titles. You know, and not only is this just like a really short-sighted kind of statement, but dude, people haven't even been able to find them on the shelves, you ding-dong. You know what I mean? Exactly, Reject. That's always been my thing, too, is like, was it worth it for me to go spend $500 on a console for the one or two games that I really cared to play on release for PlayStation? That's where I got to. And ultimately, it was a no. It just wasn't. So that's why I've quit buying PlayStation consoles. Same here. Same here. It just didn't seem worth it to me anymore. And I think that's where a lot of people are in the same ballpark as we are. They're in the same mindset as we are. It's like, dude, there's a couple of games maybe that are coming out that I would really, really like to play on that console, proprietary, that I won't be able to play on anything else. But is it worth me going and spending that amount of money just for that? No. If you could even find one. Which is another stupid thing about this statement, you know? Dude, Final Fantasy 16 producer can, go sit on a thumb, dude. Go get his soul cleansed. You know what I'm saying? Just buy a PS5? What? Is it hard? Final Fantasy 16, the upcoming installment in the long-running JRPG series, drops on June 22nd as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. That exclusivity is a bit of a bummer as other Final Fantasy games such as Final Fantasy Remake were also available on PC. And the last mainline entry, Final Fantasy 15, was multi-platform. Unfortunately, at least for now, the new Final Fantasy game will remain on PlayStation 5 only, according to the game's producer. Producer Naoki Yoshida, colloquially known as Yoshi P, was interviewed at Mahjong tournament over the weekend, whether I think they missed something here, but I think where he was questioned whether Final Fantasy 16 would come to PC, something Square Enix confirmed when it revealed the game almost 2 years ago. However, despite the detail found in the footnote text at the bottom of the trailer, Yoshi P said the release information is wrong, according to rough translation by the Japanese gaming news Twitter account Genkai JPN Japan. In fact, there may not be a PC version coming at all, as Yoshi P is apparently suggesting folks go out and buy a PS5 instead. Yoshi P on the rumors of a Final Fantasy 16 PC version. Nobody said a word about a PC version releasing. Why is it like a PC version is releasing 6 months later? Don't worry about that. Buy a PS5. Sorry, I went overboard. We did our best, so please look forward to it. Get bent, dude. This guy can go sit on a thumb, dude. Nobody said a word about a PC version releasing. Yeah. It's interesting. Yoshi P is purporting that a PC version isn't planned. Scrubbing through some old Final Fantasy 16 trailers, such as the Awakening one from September 2020, it was definitely stated the game is not available on other platforms for a limited time after release on PS5, suggesting it could possibly hit other consoles in the future, at the very least. Such was the case with Final Fantasy VII Remake, where the limited time window was about a year. Yeah, and then the PC port was terrible. I didn't play it because of that. I wanted to. But it came out on PC, and apparently they still haven't fixed it. It's just been stuff the community has tried to fix for them. However, all recent marketing for the game, from newer trailers to its official website, now make no mention of it coming to PC. This is unfortunate, considering other Final Fantasy games are on more platforms than just PlayStation, and the fact that the newest Sony console can still be difficult to find. Exactly. But in the grand scheme of things, knowing how deep Square Enix's relationship with PlayStation is, it's not surprising. At least the exclusivity deal should take advantage of the PlayStation 5's hardware, so there's no loading. I'll take loading over Square still having the rights to Final Fantasy for the future. Dude, I'm so scared of Square Enix. I'm not kidding. I'm so scared of that developer moving forward and what it means for series like Final Fantasy that so many of us have loved for so long. Kotaku reached out to Square for clarification but did not receive a reply before publication. Alongside sticking firmly to PlayStation consoles, Final Fantasy XVI has been rated mature for certain types of content featured in the game, specifically according to a translation on the Brazilian Ministério, I'll butcher that, da Justica website for hate crimes, yikes, and sex scenes. Nice. That's funny. Yo, this guy can get bent, dude. Whatever. Yo, if that's what everybody needs is a PS5 to play the game, and that's what you're worried about, go buy everybody one that doesn't have one. All right, buddy. There's your solution. That's what I got. Them's the breaks, chat. Them's the breaks. Oh, yo, hey, before I forget, before we end it, check it out. It is $60. Check it. The Last of Us Part 1 is $60. $60 on PC. That's probably why I won't buy it. This is one of those things that's weird to me. If it was $60 on release, and it released on PC the same time that it released on PlayStation, I'd be like, cool, that's fine. But it's been out on PlayStation for like 6 months, and then they port it to PC, and they still want you paying $60 for it. I have an issue with that. And mainly it's because of PlayStation. I'm not a fan of that. It really irks me. What I'll probably do is wait until this ends up going on a better sell, and then I'll pick up The Last of Us Part 1 and we'll play it here in the channel, okay? But it's weird to me that happens. I just don't like the way PlayStation does stuff like this. It really it irks me pretty bad. Kerbal Space Program and Shadow Tactics standalone expansion, Aiko's Choice, are free until tomorrow. All right? Tomorrow, not too long after the current time now. So you got about 25 hours left. 25 hours left to get these games. Then it'll be First Class Trouble and Game Deck Definitive Edition. Okay? Get your free titles, peoples. All right? There's no reason not to, dude. There's no reason not to. All right? Them's the breaks. Now we're done. All right? So that's what I got. You guys rock. Thanks. Appreciate you. First and foremost, to everybody that's part of this community, you're amazing. And I appreciate you very, very much. Also, to everybody that was part of this new segment today, thank you for being a part of this. And for helping me to have some good conversations about this content that we came across today, okay? Appreciate it very much. We're going to move on to day 31, man. Day 31 of our gameplay of Breath of the Wild. We're really pushing. We've got a few more side quests to get taken care of, and then we're really pushing in-game stuff, man. It's we're really getting close. So I think it's probably we're on track schedule-wise. We're on track schedule-wise. Again, if anybody is not aware, here in the chat for the channel, you can ! schedule for our tentative 2023 schedule. That will change as we move forward with any kind of needed changes. And it's also in our Discord channel. It's pinned in the tavern, our main channel for the server. Okay, but if anybody is checking out this content, yeah, and you're enjoying it, you want to be a part of it live. We go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. We start all of our streams off with video gaming news. This was a bit of a long segment this morning. It happens from time to time. Usually it's about an hour and a half, but it can be a little bit shorter or a little bit longer. And but we have a good time with it nonetheless. We do video gaming news. We hit hot topics that have come out for the industry over the past 24 hours before we jump into whatever video gaming content we have slated for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for January 12th edition of Video Gaming News, and it will be day 32 of Breath of the Wild. All right?